Hey everybody, welcome back to Chord Dave Live. Happy Saturday to you all. In fact, it is Saturday, it's been another week. I hope you had a good one, and yeah, sláinte to all of you out there. Good stuff. So, yeah, what a week. We've got new Bonamassa guitars and some news about what's coming next and all kinds of things. So we'll get into all of that in a little bit. But of course, as usual, we've got lots of comments already queued up by you lovely people. Glad to have everybody here. Just a bit of housekeeping. If you do want to comment in the live chat, you've got to be subscribed. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, wait 60 seconds, and then off you go into the live chat. You can comment and say whatever you want. Some cool people exist here and they're chatting all night on a Saturday night with us. So make sure you introduce yourself if you are new, because you know it's fun. We have a good time here on a Saturday. So make sure you do that. And yeah, let's talk about Joe Bonamassa and so forth, and his lovely, very expensive new ES3 35 from Epiphone. Let me know your thoughts on that. We'll get into it a little bit later when we're in full flow on the show. This is the guitar. If you haven't seen it, there's Joe strumming it with a Gibson Garage baseball hat. So there you go. Anyway, let's roll into it. Scott is here first, as he always is. I don't know, Scott, you must get the notification before everyone else. But you're always here. It's good to see you. And Grandpa Joe followed you up. Grandpa Joe saying, wishing everyone a safe and great weekend. And the same to you, Grandpa Joe. Glad to have you here, as always. Again, that very attractive Chord Dave fellow was in the comments saying good evening to you all. Robert Gallagher is here and says, Happy Thanksgiving, Canadians, and a regular hello to everyone else. Yes, indeed. Happy Thanksgiving to those from Canada. Hope you're doing something this weekend and get an extra day off. That's pretty cool, right? If you do. Hopefully you do. Glenn Bailey is here then after that. Says hello to all. One of his alter egos, of course. Yeah, it's always good to see you, Glenn. Scott says, hey, Ryan, did you like my song on KDH? I had the stupidest week ever. I didn't see that, Scott, but I will definitely go looking for it, to be honest with you. I'll have to see what's going on here with this song. Ryan says he probably had his mother watching or something. He should have played it. I don't know. This seems like something I missed out on. I've had a busy week. I haven't really caught up on YouTube. There's nothing new there, but there you go. Hopefully you guys can let me know what's going on. Glenn says, with all the buzz on the Bonamassa everywhere, did anyone check out the new Gretsch signature Malcolm Young guitar? Yeah, that was a pretty cool one. It's pricey though as well, so that's why there was no video or anything about it. I had to kind of make a decision, the Bonamassa or the Gretsch, and the Bonamassa is going to get more views, so that's what I went with. But let me know your thoughts on this week's video as well, guys. I did a live video instead of a recorded one. It's doing quite well in terms of views, and that was the idea. See if it would get as many views if it was live or recorded. So let me know your thoughts on more live videos, whether I should do more recorded stuff or more live, and I will see how it goes. I'm going to do a few more tests of live videos, so one way or another there will be more live ones, just 10-15 minutes or so during the weeks. So look out for those as well. Scott says, I think it's better that I was the only one who got censored and basically booted off the talent show. There's a talent show? All right, I definitely need to look into this. Ryan says, I saw the Malcolm at L&M today. I didn't pick it up though. It was behind the counter. Awesome looking guitar. Definitely an awesome looking guitar. Yeah, very, very cool one. Scott says, my song was the only one to make people laugh. Very cool. Absolutely. Want to know all the details here. And Ryan says, you sent in two, didn't you? One under a fake name. So there you go. But no, he says, not just a crash test dummies one. And I have no actual talent. The laugh was the best I could hope for. That's not true. We all know that. Everyone who has checked out Scott's channel knows he has talent. And making people laugh is a talent. So good stuff there. Now, Ryan says, also saw the new LP faded standards. They looked okay, but sort of had that fake painted on wood look to them, like the Epi 59. They feel awesome though. Yeah, that was the faded LPs. I've never been a fan of them, so I've never, or SGs I suppose as well. I've never been a fan of that finish, so I don't know what people, because Gibson were saying due to popular demand they're back. I was like, really? Who's asking for that back? but apparently some people had been, because that's what they're doing. So so yeah, let me know as well if you're excited for those to be back. I just can't get excited about something like that. So anyway, interesting move from Gibson, I suppose. If people are looking for them, it's good. If people are not and they just brought something back, then that wouldn't surprise me either. Ryan says, okay, that was another one that was similar to yours in look and sound. I figured it was you also. Good stuff, guys, though. Interacting with other channels and recognizing and reaching out and saying hello to each other and stuff. That's cool. And Scott says, the 59 top feels okay. Just don't change angles when looking at it. That's a good point. That's a good point. James Severin here says, hey, Chord Dave, my Irish brother, how are you? Doing pretty well, James. Thanks very much for asking. Yeah, I had a decent week. You know, a lot of stuff is always going on, but you know, making the best of what I got, and that's all I can do for now, is just keep on trucking. So yeah, doing well. But thanks for that, James, and good to see you as always. Ryan says, yeah, that's the same idea I got with the faded. It did dance a bit, but only the 50s model had good flame to begin with. The wood on these is all over the place, some flame, some plain. And Scott makes a good point. It looks like a fake countertop. It does. Scott says, I'd never take mine out of the case. I've never taken mine out of the case since I got it. Should beat on it for a while, see if it's actually like. And Ryan says, I hear they're great. So there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Take it out of the case just for an afternoon. Just play along with it, see how it goes. I bet it needs a string change from just sitting. Yeah, if it's been a while, I would say it has. Definitely got a need for that. Ryan says the Bonamassa looks beautiful, just way too much. Yeah, I agree. I think they look fantastic. I was planning on picking one up because I was certain that in Joe Bonamassa's original post about these, that he mentions that they were going to be under 1,000. So under 1,000 to me in that context meant they were going to be 999. And I didn't expect them to be any cheaper than that. And I was waiting, and I was going to buy one, but as soon as I saw 1,250, which is what they are on Thomann.com, I was like, no, there's no way I'm paying that for an Epiphone. I'm still looking at them and going, maybe, but because they do look really nice. But I did mention in the video I did on, was it Thursday? I did mention that if you bought the inspired with Gibson 335, bought Burst Booker pickups, and bought a nice case for it, you'd still come out on top, and you would. I did some adding up numbers today, and you're going to pay about $550 for the inspired by Gibson 335. You're going to pay around about $250 for the Burst Bookers for the 2 and 3. So they come in at $130 and $120 respectively. And then a nice case, Epiphone specific case for hollow bodies, comes in at $120 on Thomann. So you are looking there. I think that works out about $950. If my maths is right, or less than, it's 9 something. So I think $920 altogether. So yeah, if you're willing to change to pickups, and it's difficult to change pickups on a 335, but if you're going to be able to do it, then that's the way to go instead. I don't see why anyone would want the Maestro Vibrola. It looks cool, but yeah, it's not the best thing you could have on it. Anyway, look, there will be much argument about this. Some people in the comments were saying that it's great, it's a good price, it's cool, they like it. I'm like, yeah, okay, Agnesi, whatever. Pretending you're not just using a different account. But no, I'm sure they're great guitars. I am sure that they are fantastic guitars, and that's the main thing, I suppose. So if you're willing to spend the money on them, you'll get a great guitar, hopefully. Glenn says, I reach for my 59 Epi often. I like the feel of the neck, and it sounds good, and the lighting in my room sucks like my playing, so the top doesn't bother me much. I'm sure that's not true, Glenn. I'm sure the lighting in your room is fantastic. Scott says, nice one. A new one. Yeah, I love it. It just isn't special enough guitar to package to pay that much. Sucks. I wanted to get them, but it's just not worth it for something I'm not playing or selling. Yeah, I agree. Glenn is correct here. The Bonamassa is limited to 2,000, not like the 59 that was a limited edition badge on the back, and no idea how many will be made. So it's not. So it's got that going for the price. Yeah, 2,000, but they're not selling fast. So I think like pretty much every other Epiphone special edition or limited edition, whatever, for the last few months has sold out on the day of release. This one hasn't. It's still available. Most retailers still have them in stock. So I know they only came out 2 days ago, but that's kind of crazy that they're still around for the moment. So yeah, good stuff. In terms of the guitar itself, I like it. I think it's a good looking guitar, but for $1,250, it's way overpriced. It should be $1,000. I think that's, but like I've been saying for months and months, their target is to get Epiphones to $1,500 for signature models. So that's where we're headed. I would say next year we'll probably see $1,499 for Bonamassas / whoever else is getting a new signature next year, late into the year, I'd imagine. But there you go. But yeah, look, the limited edition factor, the fact there's only 2,000 means that they will be flippable if you want to go that route and check it out and then sell it. Which, you probably get around $2,000 for it in about 3 or 4 months. Just thinking out loud there. Scott says, bad lighting. I have lots of that. It's the best way. I mean, as you can tell, I'm an expert in bad lighting. So yeah. Scott says, still selling 59s in at least 5 different colors. Yeah, absolutely. Limited edition seems to be a just a marketing phrase. I don't think some of the ones they attach it to actually are limited. Yeah, they even have a purple one. That's cool. I haven't seen that. I need to look out for it. Glenn says, I got the Sweetwater burst on mine. I'm sorry to hear that, Glenn. Hopefully it can be repaired. And Scott says, I got Dark Burst 59 because I got the Norm Burst. I can justify it if they're different. Exactly. Scott says, at this price, when they release something, I'm really glad it's going to be. I'm really into it's got to be. Hang on. I'll start reading English better. At this price, when they release something, I'm really into it's going to be 2,400 Canadian. Yeah. It's probably true. Instead of the Bonamassa, I think I'd rather have a white loose seal. Interestingly, Glenn, I wanted the red one instead. Yesterday or Thursday, when I was talking to Muddy and I was saying it's just too much money for an Epiphone. I should have bought the Lucille when the special edition ones. And in Europe, we only had the choice of the white one. You guys in the US had the red one. So yeah, I would have liked to have picked up the red one of those, knowing that now that I know the Bonamassa was what, $400 more. It's crazy. Anyways, Scott says, I'm still thinking of the black Lucille. So that's a great guitar, to be honest with you. It is. It is a nice one. The Lucille has a special place. So there you go. Scott says, it's a model unlike anything else, and even after the price increase, it's still not crazy insane. It's not a crazy insane price. True. I think it's a good price for what it is, especially compared to other signature models now. Let me see. Ryan says, $2,000 guitars wouldn't surprise me next year. It seems to me they're trying to push Epi as its own thing. Yeah, been saying it for a long time. Guys. And actually, when I mentioned in a few videos, I think I did a specific video, maybe it was the Jerry Cantrell video, saying that the Epiphones were going to be going up in price and they were going to be expensive. A couple of people told me I was talking shit and I didn't know what I was talking about and I was an idiot and stuff like that. And while I don't disagree with them, I do talk a lot of crap. They absolutely are now probably looking at it going, nobody has ever said that Epiphones would be so expensive. So yeah, it's getting there. It's just the way it is. I mean, look, they're going to get better and better, but they are going to be expensive. That's for sure. Glenn says, both are nice. I like having access to the back if you need to change pups instead of going through the F-holes. Yeah, it's a lot handier system to do it, all right. Scott says, better have good case candy. For the Bonamassa, I think you get a COA, and I'm not sure if you get anything else with it, actually. But there you go. yeah. COA not really worth the extra 400 either, is it? Ryan says, the Lucille is nice. I've only tried an old Gibson model, but they're all about the same. Yeah, well, they should be, hopefully, since they're all based off the same guitar. Scott says, I've got a Tech, Glenn, so I never have to fish out the pups myself. Yeah, I would absolutely leave that to my guy down the road who knows what he's doing. And Glenn says, I still say Gibson should do PRS. Do like PRS SE, put Gibson on a Gibson headstock and call it a Gibson Epi. You never know. They could look at doing something like that, but I think Ryan is right. I think they're trying to make Epiphone a little bit more its own thing, and more of a standout brand. I think that's the goal. That's the idea that they're playing with and they want to do. So we'll see. You know, I don't know if they'll ever get there with it. I think they're going to get a bit of backlash if they keep putting their prices up for something brand new on the market. And I think it might have even been a surprise. As I said, I'm certain I saw Joe Bonamassa say they would be under 1,000, and then they're $1,250 or $1,299 in the US. So crazy money there. But Ryan says, yeah, Glenn, I had to clean a pot on an LP Supreme, and you have to go through the input jack cover. Jesus, that's not good. One of my personalities does my pickup work for me. He tends to overcharge sometimes. Yeah, other personalities tend to do that for you, Glenn, unfortunately. And Scott says, Epiphone did a Strat and Telly in the 80s S&T series. That's correct. Yeah, you were 100% right. Hockey stick headstock. Yeah, they did. I also did Batwing headstocks on both of them as well at one point. Very limited runs of those ones though. Ryan says, but if Epiphone said Gibson, they'd lose all the sales from Epi guys who swear Epi is better and they'd never own a Gibson. True. Scott says, or Batwing. Both, Scott. Yeah, you're 100% right there. Richard says, don't start yet. I have to poop. Yeah, you do you, Richard. Thanks for dropping in. Sorry, I didn't mean to say dropping in. Anyway, Chris from Coburg, good to see you. Now can we slow down the chat? Cheers. I don't know how to slow down the chat appearing for you, and I think it's just people throwing in chats. But anyway, hope you're doing well, Chris. Thanks for dropping in. Scott says, best guitar I bought this year cost 250 Canadian dollars. It's unbelievable. So there's no excuse anymore for quality and finish. Even cheaper Epis are not as well done as 5 years ago. Yeah, if you watch Guitarista's video this week, the SG Special comparison with the three at a custom shop, a Gibson USA, and the Epiphone that we love. Both Colin and I think it's a great guitar. Scott won it, of course, on the channel back in January with the very same guitar. That guitar is one of the best Epiphones, one of the best SGs I've ever played, one of the best guitars I've ever played. I think I paid $350 for it at the time. Maybe it was $329. And it's fantastic. There's no flaws in it whatsoever. No manufacturing flaws. But again, going up against a custom shop, he rated it better than the Gibson's version, and then but not as good as the custom shop, which is fair enough. The custom shop cost $3,000 more, so you know, what do you expect? But yeah, overall I think Epiphones, well, to be honest with you, I haven't seen a bad one myself, but $250 guitar, that's kick-ass. That's great news. That's great news. Yeah. I feel a little bit jealous of kids who are just like picking up a guitar for the first time nowadays, because they're getting a guitar 100 times better than what a lot of us picked up for the first time way back when. Glenn says, Richard, we call it taking a Gibson. But that is comment of the day. Yep. Glenn, that is, I like that. Let me give you a gold star. I don't know, it stars it here anyway, but anyway, good stuff, Glenn. I appreciate that. Good times. Scott says, holy cow, there's a timer. What do we do? Someone cut their head wire. Yeah, that's, you know, trying out new buttons and stuff, see how they work. So I think sometimes people join the live stream and then they just see the thumbnail on it and thing, and they're like, oh, this hasn't started, I'll come back later. Then they forget to come back. So just wanted to let folks know it would start a couple of minutes after the actual hour, which is what we do every week. So again, if you're new, that's just how we do things. Red wire, it's a DiMarzio timer, it's black. Hey, listen, there's nothing to be worried about. It's just a timer. All right. Some of you guys are too worried about a timer, 2-minute timer. Anyway, Charlie Pope is here. Good to see you. He says, I lied. My second Gibson custom shop was a piece of shit. However, I got the Mustang V and it's brilliant. Well, there you go. Yeah, glad that you're excited about that guitar. Glad it's going well for you. So good stuff. Charlie Pope, always good to see you. Scott says, anyone new here, you'll have to subscribe for a minute before you can chat in the best chat on YouTube. Indeed. Make sure that you are subscribed. And Corey is here. Good to see you, Corey. Says, hey, gang, don't forget to hit all those buttons for Dave. Indeed. Anyone get any new gear this week? No, but debated it quite a lot, whether or not to do it. Still deciding whether to pull the trigger. I don't think I'm going to buy the Bonamassa, but I might buy, I might go the route of inspired by Gibson ES335 and buy the burst buckers and buy the case just to make a video about it and be like, look, you can do it without the thing. Anyways, although I don't think I will. Richard says, what do we call it, chat, when we are just reading and writing? I mean, I don't know. Scott needs to come up with something for it. Scott says, notice JB, has a Gibson hat, not Epiphone. He knows who's the boss. He does indeed. Yeah. Anyway, more beer for that. Mess up right there. Let me see here. What have we got? Ryan says, how much is the Gretsch? Quite expensive, Ryan, is the answer to that. Matt Van Bosch is here. Good to see you, Matt. Hope you are doing well. And Scott says, the content is getting better all the time. Well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. That's super cool. Let me see. $3,500, Glenn says, for the Malcolm. Yeah, that's what I thought it was, $3,500, which is quite pricey. But it does look very, very cool. Ryan says, not bad. I was thinking of getting a white penguin for myself for Christmas. Nice. Yeah, that'd be a cool one to add to the collection. And Richard says, the Gretsch is badass, but I can get a better Gretsch for that much money. Yeah, you probably could. Anything signature wise is not good value. So just bear that in mind. You are paying extra for the name that's attached, even if it's somebody who's not personally collecting the cash. So there you go. Matt says, interesting video on the new Bonamassa. Still can't get over the price. Not a fan of his at all, although his black LP Black Beauty signature a few years ago also looked great. The man can obviously sell guitars. Yeah, I agree. I think that Black Beauty is a really nice guitar. And somebody just wake Glenn up, because I think he just fainted because I said I liked that particular black guitar. It's okay, Glenn. It'll be fine. Yeah, it was a nice signature model for sure. Yeah, the price is the big talking point on this guitar. It looks like a really nice guitar, but really that much. Chris says, Bonamassa can suck it, greedy bastard. I honestly, I will say this, I don't think it was him. I think this is a Gibson thing, and they've sold it to him as this is what we're going to do. I don't think there's any need for it. Plus, also bear in mind, guys, somebody, as I said in the comments on the video, said, oh, well, burst booker pickups cost X amount, whatever. I think they said that they cost like 400 or 500. Like, they don't. They cost 120 and 130 respectively. But the thing is, Gibson don't pay retail for burst booker pickups. They make them for quite a lot less than that. So there's no need for them to be adding on hundreds of dollars or euros to the price of a guitar because they've got burst bookers in them. No need whatsoever. So yeah, that's just Gibson being greedy bastards themselves. And as I said, it's part of the plan. It's part of the plan from Gibson that everything's going to be expensive. On the signature range, signature guitars are going to be over $1,000 minimum, I think, from Epiphone in the next year or so. So get the deals while they're there. I mean, you can still pick up a Slash Epiphone for, I'm starting to see them for about 600 now. So that's kind of the price I think they're worth. So it might be worth picking one of those up, especially because they are going to discontinue the Vermilion and the Anaconda Burst at the end of the year, I believe. So Ryan says, yeah, definitely you could buy a vintage Gretsch Corvette like Rory G. Yep, he doesn't have one in that picture, but for sure someone to emulate. A Duo or Pro Jet or a Penguin for about the same money. Yeah, you could buy a really nice Gretsch for that kind of money, for sure. Scott says, I had a woodpecker stuck in my wood stove this week. Had to take apart my stovepipe and chimney to get it out. Well, there you go. You had a lot of fun. It sounds like a really good afternoon of having to do that. Chris says $1,818 after tax in Canadian dollars. for the 335. Yeah, that's pretty expensive. James says, yeah, they are only making 2,000 of the 335. They are indeed. And Chris says, so Geek Lord is going to buy half of them. It wouldn't surprise me. And James says, first run that is. Yeah, you might be right on that, because they did do more Lazaruses last year, right? Those were limited as well to something like 2,000, I think. Be interesting to see if Mr. Bonamassa sees my video this week and this year, because he did apparently see the Lazarus one last year and was not too happy with it. I don't care. But yeah, it'd be nice to know if he chimes in about the price, because I don't think anyone's actually asked him yet, like, why are they $12.99? And somebody should. T-Ball says, late as usual, what up, guitar freaks? Anthony, good to see you as always. Thank you for dropping in. And there's no such thing as late around here, so yeah, just enjoy the show, and thanks for coming. Scott says $1,000 for his name. Yeah, quite a lot. And 200 for the case. They don't give them away. True. Interesting, like Thomann have specific ES335 Epiphone cases. They're 120 euros. So I'm not buying that. I mean, they have black interiors rather than yellow. So if that kind of thing bothers you, then get the Bonamassa one. But anyways, Chai Pup says, I went to my local hardware store today and asked lady how I could remove the grease from my oven. She replied, ammonia cleaner. I said, I'm sorry. I thought you worked here. Oh, Chai Pup, that is the daddest joke of all time. I don't know, but thanks for that. I appreciate it. Matt says to James, exactly this. If they are popular, can see Epiphone doing another run. Yeah, indeed. I think at the price point, they're going to struggle to sell 2,000. Like as I said already, they're not selling out as quickly as other limited editions or signature models have. A lot of people pausing at the price tag, which I'm not surprised at. Ryan says, I ordered a horse meat pedal. I took too many sleeping pills the other day and did online shopping, waiting to see what else I got. It's always a fun time getting some mysterious shopping appear. Yeah, when you don't know what's coming in the post, that's a good day. Cameron G, good to see you, Cameron. Thanks for dropping in. Says, hey Dave, I'm thinking of getting a Squier Telecaster sometime in the future. I think Classic Vibe 50s looks good. Just wondering what you'd recommend. I like those. I like the 40th anniversary Squiers as well. I'm thinking very strongly of picking up one of those in the next couple of months. But yeah, Classic Vibe, you can't go wrong. Really, really great guitars. Yeah, I think you're probably on the right path with that one, to be honest. Chai Pup says the Duke of Tone is not very good. Anybody want to buy a second-hand one? No thanks. If it's not very good, I'm good. Thanks. Ryan says those are nice, Cam. The Classic Vibe is the way to go. Yeah, I would agree. I think Classic Vibes are great. Coburg says, Chris from Coburg says, okay, time for a drink, Dave. Sludge. Yeah, absolutely. Good luck to you, sir. Glenn says, limited edition is the new all original, except for insert list here. Yeah, true. And Anthony says Epiphone prices will just push Gibson prices up even more. F those guys. Yeah, been saying it for a long time, Anthony. That's exactly what's happening. Epiphone's going to be up to 1,500 and Gibson will start after that. It's been a plan that they've been in place. And something I think we should do is do a hostile takeover of Gibson and just stop it from happening. It's one of those things. I think they're in danger of going down the path that the Henry J era ownership went. They took their eye off the ball of the main business, which is selling guitars to people. I think they've been fooled a little bit by the whole pandemic rush. Now there's guitars in warehouses again. There's shipments that are being made and sitting on shelves for a while now. So it's not a case where every single guitar being made is sold straight away. So they need to realize that they have to still appeal to people who are building collections, not who are buying one guitar. They have to make things appealing, and price is a part of the appeal for guitars. And I think a lot of people, for example, are looking at the Bonamassas and being like, what the fuck, it's an Epiphone. you're looking for crazy money. You can buy Gibsons for that money. On the secondhand market, you could probably even get 335 for that money. Get a. I think Ryan, it was in the live stream on Thursday. I think he said like for a couple of hundred more, you could get a dot for something around that money. So yeah, they're playing a dangerous game, and I hope I hope Gibson doesn't go to shit again, or even worse, going to go to shit again. But I can see them falling big time if they don't, stop all this like 50 grand guitars where you get to go and have a dinner with 100 other people bullshit. But there you go. It's all about the brand experience, right? Anyway. Ryan says, I don't think so, T-Ball. They seem to be independent from one another. Well, we'll get more in. I have a little bit more information I'm putting together, so we will see. We'll see what I can put out there in the video at some point, over in the next month or so. Scott says, in my opinion, price increase, no matter how high, can be justified if the guitar and outfit is good enough. That's a good point. Yeah, if the guitar is good enough, it's worthy of its price, that's fine. But you got to make it worthy of its price and not have something similar enough half the price or less. So yeah, you got a good point there though. Speaking of Bonamassa's guitar though, by the way, he was asked on Instagram when or why he doesn't do an SG, and he said his signature next year is going to be an SG. So perfect. If you're waiting for a Bonamassa SG, start saving now. You want to put away about $100 a month, and you might be able to afford it. So yeah, Bonamassa SG, early October next year. That's what we're going to get. So hopefully we'll find out soon enough what it is. Usually he does post a picture or something or teaser of what it's going to be fairly early. So hopefully we'll find out what it is. But it's going to be an SG. So that's kind of cool. Who doesn't love an SG? Brian says, we all talk a lot of crap, Dave. By we, I mean the Irish. Yeah, that's true. That's why the pubs make so much money, because people just stand around talking crap all night. And yeah, it's a good time for everybody. SB, good to see you. SB says, evening, good news. I traded my cheapo 20 Champ I got for 25 bucks and shelled 30 bucks to trade it in for an orange Micro Terror that's spanking new. Now all I need is a cab. Maybe I'll build one. Very cool. Yeah, the orange Micro Terror are very, very cool. I know a few people have them and love them to death. So yeah, hope you do enjoy that for sure. And let me see what we've got here. Just lost everything off my screen. Get it back. There we go. Matt says, if Gibson want to push Epi as a more premium brand, they need to get a full range of USA models. $1,000 plus for import models is too much. An awful lot of better value options at that price point. That's the kicker. Yeah. If you're going to spend $1,000, you've got some choices that are stellar choices ahead of a Chinese-made Epiphone. Doesn't matter what components or anything are in there, you're still going to have better options. And people will still, I'll say this forever, people will still look at Epiphone and think it's the cheap brand. It doesn't matter how much the guitars cost. Like, that's why I wouldn't buy a $3,000 Epiphone Casino. Doesn't matter if it's made in USA. It's still going to be looked on, oh, that's an Epiphone, that's a cheap guitar. So I don't think... yeah, I know the history and everything behind Epiphone. I've done videos about that before. I've had people try and tear me apart on comment sections about Epiphone Casinos in particular, that I didn't know the history, despite doing a video about the history of the guitar. And yeah, I've got to say, they have to just realize where the brand is right now. It's seen as a budget brand, not a premium brand, and they should realize that. If they want to do more a mid-priced range, it should just be cheaper Gibsons. That's what they should do. But they don't want to do it for some reason. Glenn says, SB, that micro kicks. I have one. That little bastard is loud. Well, there you go. Glenn is giving it his thumbs up, but that's good enough for me. Ryan says, I don't think they're trying to push Epi as a premium brand, just maybe a brand more all stages. Brand for all stages. Yeah, I can see your point there. I see your point. Whose signature guitar would and should have cool case candy, and what would it be? I don't know. I think all guitars should come with some case candy, and I think at a certain price point you should get a hard case anyway. But yeah, I just think they should throw in some basic stuff. I mean, all guitars should come with a decent cable, maybe a decent strap, and some decent picks, something like that. And I also think every time you buy a guitar, you should get some guitar strings. with it, whether they're your strings or type of strings or not. It would just make sense. So if I ever do start making and selling guitars, they'll come with all of those things. But it's very unlikely, so just don't hold your breath. Ryan says, I had a Micro Terror. It was loud. So there you go. SB says, I'm very super happy with it. Never had a valve amp before. That Terror sounds great for the money, being a hybrid. Very cool. Indeed, yeah, I think they're pretty cool, and one I would consider picking up myself, to be honest. Yeah, very cool orange amps. Scott says the Epiphone Sg Special P90 is a sleeper model. I didn't think anything of it until I got it. There you go. See, once you watch Chord Dave live, you can end up winning a guitar that you think is really cool, but didn't think much of beforehand. But it's a very, very cool guitar, and like as Colin was saying in his video, it kind of lines up really, really well with even custom shop model. It was up there. So yeah, it's a great guitar, and it's really cheap as well. It's under $400. It's under $500, I think, at the moment, because the price did go up a little bit. So Ryan says, I have a deal to buy a Benson amp, the Vinny Reverb, but the guy's been slacking on sending the pay request. I may abandon it and wait for retail to get some. Yeah, it always sucks when the guys are on Reverb are slacking a little bit, but hey, it's one of those. If you want to hold on for it, do. But yeah, it's always rough. I hate when people do that. Just be quick. Anyway, James Everett said, my Epiphone Jerry Cantrell Custom is a fantastic guitar. I grab it for it more than my Gibson Les Paul. No shitting you. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what happened with me with that Epiphone SG. I was grabbing that more than my Gibson SG, so I sold the Gibson SG and kept the Epiphone. So yeah, it happens, and if you get a great one, it's all that matters. So anyways, SB says, oof, Bensons sound great. Emerald City guitars sampled some models, and they sound as good as they look. Very, very cool. T-Ball says, hit that like button. Yeah, guys, hit that like button. We do have 26 likes, which is very, very cool for this early in the stream, and I do appreciate it all, everything that you do. Ryan says, yeah, I love them. They're damn near impossible to find outside of Reverb, and they sell like 400 a year through shops. Sell out instantly. Yeah, hard to get your hands on one, all right, that's for sure. But yeah, it sucks when people are dragging their feet on Reverb. So if you're selling on Reverb, try and be quick, try and respond quickly. It's the best thing to do. Type Up says the Inspired by Gibson 335 is £469. You can get some decent custom pickups and a case for less than the bunny. Yeah, 100%. The prices I gave earlier were in euros. But yeah, so in pounds, you'd probably be coming in about 800, I think. For everything there that I was mentioning. But yeah, put some good pickups in it, put a nice case on it. I mean, it'd be great. Honestly, I think that guitar, you wouldn't leave it in its case. It looks really, really cool. So I would be very surprised if I do buy one and it ends up in the case. I'd be very surprised. But yeah, a very cool project to do would be to buy the Inspired by Gibson and spend the extra money, and you're still saving money. So justification right there. SB says, yeah, super low volume, but that quality of amp seems pretty much worth the wait. Hope you get yours soon. Yeah, very cool indeed. Scott says, I hope the Bonamassa don't do well, only to make them reconsider the price. I'd have no complaints at $1,500, but at $1,800, and again, that's Canadian dollars. Yeah, it's one of those. I was ready to buy it. I was waiting for it to come out. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago we'd have the Tony Iommi a couple of weeks ago, and then the Bonamassa, and then so we're just waiting for the Adam Jones to come out. That's the next big one, so it should be in a couple of weeks' time. But that, I was very surprised, and it made me say, no, I'm not buying it at that price. So we will see. And now I have that problem of money burning a hole in my pocket. I'm like, damn it, I was waiting to buy that guitar. Now I'm just gonna have to buy something. I'll probably buy something random. T-Wall says, I don't have any beer, but I have some awesome painkillers. Cheers. Well, you know, as long as they're awesome. Good for you, Anthony. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Scott says, the Joe Bonamassa Black Beauty is awesome. I actually played that one and isn't a total case queen. There you go. Always good not to be a case queen. But yeah, That's very cool. It is a great looking guitar, to be honest. Robert says, Eppies are great value for money, and that's coming from a Gibson man. It's all about the headstock phobia. Yeah, Robert, good to see you. Thanks for joining us on your Sunday morning down there in Australia. But yeah, super valid point there. The headstock phobia is 100% like, and I'll admit I'm used to be someone who suffered with headstock phobia. I didn't like the old Epiphone headstock. I just thought it looked crap. Some people hate the new one, the Kalamazoo headstock as they call it, and want Epiphone to go back to the old one. If they do that, I probably wouldn't buy an Epiphone again. But with the new headstock, I would definitely be buying more. And yeah, like for a long time, having the Gibson on the headstock, a lot of people, and even still, people just want that on the headstock. They don't care what else is written on it. So I don't know. I think personally, I think it does make a difference. I don't know why it does, but it does. And I like the new one, so I'll buy more of them. SB says, I think Bona Forehead has a billion signature guitars because he's saving for a decent hair transplant. Oh my God. I can't believe you made me read that out. Anyways, yes, indeed. He has, but as far as I know, he has a multi-year deal to do an Epiphone every year. I don't know when that deal runs out, but it's every year he does one. People give out about Slash having guitars, but like he has a collection, goes out. He hasn't had a thing where he's done a new one every year. So Bonamassa definitely has the most favorable deal. So be interesting to see. There is new Slash stuff coming though next year, I believe. So keep an eye out for that. I mean, I believe it's next year. I know it's coming, but next year is when I would expect it. Did get sent, and Aaron, if you're out there, Aaron's one of our viewers, and he did send me a possible prototype image for a Slash Les Paul, and we're looking into it to see if we can find out more information. But yeah, we'll see. I think there is new Slash news coming very soon, so we'll see what's going on. Glenn says, I'm back. Had to set up a hearing test. I think Dave said he liked a black guitar. I'm hearing things. Well, you see, again, Glenn, I don't know. Something on this channel is very weird. If I say I would prefer other things ahead of X, Y, or Z, everyone just goes, oh my God, you don't like that. Except for peanut butter. I did say I specifically do not like peanut butter, which is why I was offended by your ice cream the other day on Instagram. So anyway, but yeah, I like certain black guitars that just or white guitars. They're just not my preference. I wouldn't go to them if there was nothing else, unless there was nothing else. Benny Larson is here. Good to see you, Benny, as it always is. Says, hey guys, Earth Guitars have sale on their EU, US, and CA warehouses. The models, discounts, and which finishes vary. Very cool. Yeah, definitely. That's worth checking out Earth Guitars, and we'll have a look at some point over the next few days and see what we can do. And yeah, it might be worth doing a video on that, actually, on Earth Guitars. Ryan says, I still like the Billy Joe Epiphy and the Joan Jett Melody Maker. Yeah, the Joan Jett one's a bit, I don't know if I'd actually want that one. But I mean, Joan Jett is super cool. So yeah, probably would actually. T is here and says, hey Dave, good evening all. Good to see you, T. Hope you are well. Yeah, thanks for dropping in again. Nice to see you. T-Ball says, seems Gibsons have really gone up substantially over the past year. Am I wrong? No, well, pretty much everything's gone up over the last year. So yeah, Gibsons have taken that as well and kind of gone up. But yeah, I mean, look, you're looking at, there was a time not too long ago, you'd pick up a Les Paul Standard for like $22.99. I think they're pretty much $3,000 now. So yeah, there's been big price increases very much across the board there. Ryan says, Dave, is Carl the movie reviewer your brother? He is. Yeah, he's my brother. He's also not my fault. So if he said something that upset you, I'm sorry. He does that sometimes. He upsets me all the time. But yeah, he is a movie reviewer. Last night we went to see the new movie Amsterdam and did not enjoy it. I don't think it was because of the people talking in the back row the whole way through the fucking movie. But yeah, you can check out his review on his channel, which I linked in the thing last week. If you guys are looking for it, I'll share a link. But yes, he is, Ryan. He makes some good stuff. He edits his videos like a professional. I do not do that. The Bonamassa 355 was the most expensive Epi when I got it outside of an elite casino, and $12.75. It was around 1,200 Canadian. Well worth that price. 500 less than this 335. No sense make this. Yeah. Exactly, which is, yeah, it was what? It's about 999 US or 899 US, I think, at the time. Yeah, and Ryan says the 355 is so sick. I'd love one of those. Yeah, I was sad I didn't pick up one of those, to be honest. Really should have. Benny says I ordered a Earth Classic T to tell you that Phil McKnight demoed. Very cool. Yeah, look, if Phil demoed it, you probably know everything about that guitar, and he's he does great reviews. I really enjoy every time he does a video on a guitar, and yeah, one of my favorite guitar YouTubers, to be honest. He's up there with some of the best. No doubt about that. SB says I'm tired of Geek Lord, his horrible jokes that make only him laugh. That Dwight Schrute face. Or him crying that Gibson doesn't like him enough for a greenie. Well, he had a good run. I think people are kind of seeing through the cracks, but that's what happens. You get super big on YouTube, and then people start thinking, "Hey, you're just doing the same thing over and over again." You gotta innovate. You gotta change it up a little bit, and just not rely on the Gibson demo shop to put out interesting things every week. John Cadell here says, greetings Dave, any info or input on the new Fender American Vintage 2? Hey John, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. I haven't had too much time to look into those yet. I'm interested in checking them out, to be honest with you, so I'm going to look into them a little bit more in depth. I might even order one and just see what it's like, and if it's good, I'll keep it. If it's not, I'll send it back. I know, as I told you, money burning a hole in my pocket right now because the Bonamassa was too expensive. But yeah, I haven't really looked into them too much. They seemed very cool. I saw the leaks. I think a couple of people here sent me the leaks a few days before they actually officially hit the shops, but they look cool. That's as much as I can say right now. T says, Q, have you seen the Martin North Street range exclusive to Ireland and UK? I have not, but that is something I might have to look up there. So yeah, I'll check that out over the next couple of days and see what I think of it. But I haven't heard of that at all. Ryan says I tried the Epi Masterbuilt Frontier acoustic today. It was great. Yeah, they do make really nice acoustics. I think that they're doing some really good stuff with their acoustics actually lately. Glenn says Geek Lord is still bitter about Greenie. He bought an ESP LTD to review. Well, there you go. Geek Lord, by the way, if anyone is new and doesn't know who that is, it's a very large YouTuber. We decided to replace his name on the channel so it doesn't seem like we're bitching about another YouTuber, which actually we are, but you just don't want to be calling him out. But you'll figure out who it is if you watch for long enough. Glenn says, I just read Glenn's comment, did I not? Yes, I did. William Forrest is here, says, yo guys, good to see you, William, hope you're doing well. Ryan says, I agree. I guarantee he cuts down on Gibson reviews. Yeah, he's a little bit butthurt about that at the minute, but he'll be back with his Gibson stuff. Scott says, Master built at least my Dior 500 MCE is amazing. So good. I laugh at people that try to say I should get a Taylor as if it was the pinnacle of acoustics. You should get a Taylor, but just so you have one. But yeah, folks really do pimp Taylor quite a lot. Chai Pup says, I've got some secondhand Bonamassa toilet roll for sale. Any takers? No, not for me. Thanks, Chai Pup. Appreciate the offer though. That's super cool. Chris says, so do you guys and girls consider Squier signature models, i.e. the J Mascus and John 5 guitars no longer being made, classic vibes or more deluxe? That's an interesting question, Chris. I wouldn't consider them either, to be honest. I mean, just kind of somewhere in between, I suppose. Classic vibes are great, just standard models. In terms of their signatures, I would count them as being a little bit more special than that, just a little level above that. Usually they tend to, but hey, it's all good. Yeah, so I don't know, but those are definitely cool guitars. So the John 5 ones are great. SB says, I laughed at Agnesi shat all over Gibson under the Henry J era, making Les Paul shaped speakers, and and now they did that NFT guitar BS fiasco. Yeah, well, he did, and he made some which I love. I love the fact he did a Make Gibson Great Again merch and was selling them on his website for a while. But then mysteriously they're not available anymore. Yeah, selling them through the Norm's Rare Guitar videos he used to do. So he I don't even know, he may have had all those videos taken down now or not, but you could still find that information online somewhere. So yeah, but hey, then he was offered his dream job being, what is his title, like vice president of brand experience or some shit. Anyway, what a job to have, playing guitars all day. Scott says, well done, Bonamassa SG. I like the sound of. It could be interesting. Yeah, it'd be nice to know what he's doing for sure. James says, Trey 3 Chord, do you think the Adam Jones Silver Burst V is coming out? I think there might be a small run of custom shop Silver Burst V's done next year. I think they keep teasing it too much to not actually put it out, but it'll be expensive. It'll be very expensive. So yeah, I'd expect it to be 20 grand plus probably as a custom shop model. So yeah, you might want to start, you know, writing a letter to Santa or something. Child Pup says, would love it if PRS SE DGT was a thing. Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool. So Paul, if you're out there, that's an SE DGT, please. Very cool idea. Eric Warrington says, hey Dave, and hey everyone. Good to see you, Eric. Thanks for dropping in. You know, always nice to see folks like yourself. And Ryan says, I'd rather go with the D'Angelico than the expensive Epi or a Gretsch Electromatic. That is a good idea. Yeah, they make some nice guitars. So yeah, that'd be a really interesting one to look into. T-Ball says, I'd rather buy a guitar and make it my own. Not a fan of signature or nostalgic guitars. Yeah, I can see your point there. I like, you know, like, for example, Slash didn't go into a guitar store and say, hey, give me a Joe Perry guitar. Bonamassa didn't go in and say, give me a B.B. King guitar, and so forth. You just buy guitars and then they become famous and people want to buy the same guitar that they have and they make money. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a guitar. It's nothing special because it has a signature name on it. And it looks a little bit like the ones that the stars, the rock stars have. That's pretty much all you're buying, is like a name attachment, an endorsement, so to speak. It's true. Sometimes they're very cool, though. Sometimes they are very cool. But yeah, just wait for the 3 Chord Dave signature. That's the one you want to buy. It might be a while, so don't hold your breath. Scott says his 335 didn't have a good story either. Just here sold it and then was rich enough to track it down and buy it back. Okay, that's it. At least the Normburst 355, the BB, etc. had a story. Yeah. I mean, look, it's a nice guitar though. It does look cool. The original one looks very, very cool. So it'd be cool to see him, you know, maybe add a little bit of more spice to it. Didn't I see somewhere he said he bought it, when he bought it back, it had the same strings he sold it with? That's kind of ridiculous. 20 years later, but anyway. T-Ball says, no Chinese guitar should cost more than $800, just my opinion. I don't necessarily disagree with you, Anthony. I think that's a very good point. I think they should, I mean, yeah, for 800, you should be getting everything you need at that point from a budget guitar, pretty much. Margaret says, all guitars should come with case candy, plenty, good and plenty. That is something I agree with as well, because most case candy doesn't cost that much money. So if they've put in $20 worth of case candy, it would make people feel a lot better about picking up guitars, and it'd be super cool. Stickers, COAs for everything wouldn't be that big a deal to do. A little booklet, a cool booklet, you know, the good stuff. Even if they threw in a multi-tool, it wouldn't cost them that much. So I think, yeah, they should do a lot more for folks, especially once you're hitting that $1,000 mark. I think there needs to be more done, Margaret. But good to see you, and yeah, great comment there for sure. SB says 100% agree, Scott. He's just popping models because money and trying to be Clapton for the 10th time. Actually, I've seen so many people say he's just trying to be Clapton this week. So yeah, I do kind of agree with that, but hey, he's an interesting character. Eric says, I picked up an Epiphone ES339 2020 inspired by Gibson line for around 600, brand new, and Epi hard case was another 150, 750 in. It's a fantastic guitar. Build quality is amazing on this one. Yeah, 2020 Epiphones are very, very good, because that's when the new era kicked off, and they were, I think, very vigilant on what was coming out of the factory. I think maybe slipping a little bit, but they seem to be doing a good job of late. So, or in 2020, I should say. So yeah, but yeah, 339s are cool as well. So yeah, I do like those. Maybe I'll just buy a 339 instead of 335 and put the, anyway, never mind. It's all good. Scott says, every guitar should have a case, cheap ones for cheap guitars, good ones for better ones, added to the price, or at least offer new guitars with the option to include a case. Yeah, I think that's true. I think the guitar companies themselves, their answer to that is, well, there's third-party cases and, aftermarket stuff, and it's up to the guitar store to sell you the case for your guitar. But I don't agree with that necessarily. I think, when I buy a guitar, I want to have a case or a gig bag or something for it. That's why I like PRSs, for example. They come with that really good gig bag. The SE, it's a fantastic gig bag. And, would that really be that much of a big deal for Epiphone? I don't think so. But hey, Fender don't do it either. So, what can you do? And let me see, we got something coming up here. Chris says, yeah, I don't get the case thing. A lot of mom and pop store would just include one back in the day. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Many a times asked, like, do you want a case? I'll see if I can find one that fits at the back. So, yeah, that's that was a good time. The Asian Redneck is here, says, I think if Gibson wants to charge what they are for Epiphones, they need to improve on the quality. Since they moved to China, I haven't been able to find one that didn't feel like a $400 guitar at most. Well, there you go. Yeah, look, as I said, my Epiphone Sg Special, the P90 one, same one that I gave away at the beginning of the year. One of my favorite guitars I've ever played. An absolutely beautiful, great guitar. I sold my Gibson Sg Special because it was a better guitar. That's how much I love that guitar. So there are definitely very good Epiphones out there, recent ones, but I get your point. They do need to up their quality for sure. And they need, pretty much, if they're going to charge that money for Epiphones, they need to be impeccable. There's nothing can be wrong with them whatsoever. So if Gibson, if you're watching, just bear that in mind. That's what folks are thinking. Scott says 289 likes and Dave will buy the 335. All right then, if we get 289 likes, I'll buy the Bonamassa 335. We got 36 likes, so you got 250 to go. Yeah, if you get within 10 of 289, I'll do it. But I don't think you're going to. So good luck with that. Unless Glenn's brought all of his multiple personalities to the show, it's not going to happen. But let's see. We got about an hour to go. And if we get too close, I might have to end the show early. But we'll see. Benny says, I've an orange micro dark. It sounds great, but the volume pot is crap. You can't play it at lower volumes. Oh, that sucks. Eric says, Margaret plays really well. Great guitar. Very cool. Good to hear that. Yeah, for sure. Eric says, other than the Slash model. Well, there you go. Yeah, the Slash ones, look, people love those Slash models. And just to come back to it, like, my gripe with them is that they've got Pro Booker pickups. They can say custom Pro Bookers all they like. They're Pro Booker pickups. So yeah, hopefully they eventually come out with some with better pickups. Nothing wrong with Pro Bookers, but if you're going to be putting big money and everything, because they came out at $8.99, I think, those ones, which I think is big money for an Epiphone. But hey, it's all good. I do like the Vermilion Burst. I might pick one of those up before they finish them completely. We'll see. T-Ball says, when buying a new guitar, you should have a choice of a case or a gig bag. I'm a big gig bag fan. Hard shells take up too much room. That's a good point. Yeah, if you don't have, like, if you've got limited room, a gig bag is a better option. I have to say, like, my cases and gig bags, they do tend to be just shoved under beds, in wardrobes, all sorts of, just out of the way. And my guitars are out on stands instead, so that's a whole other problem I have. But for when I'm moving, for when I'm going places and I'm bringing my guitars with me, I want to have a case, generally for safety reasons for the most part. But I agree with you. I mean, as I said, that the PRS SE gig bag is fantastic, and the great thing about it is it has a hook, so you can hang it in your wardrobe, which is great. It's what I do. Let's see what we've got. Ryan says, "Don't eat. They already have Epi Sunburst for the Les Paul." No, I don't think they do at the minute. They have done them before, but not in the lineup at the minute. I don't think so. Chris says, "I have 7 guitars, 2 hard shells, 2 gig bags. Something ain't adding up." It's true. Scott says, "An Epiphone / AFD LP, but in custom, would be a borderline too expensive." Yeah, I think they're going to do a special edition / thing at some point with Epiphone, maybe next year. And yeah, you'll see them pushing the boundaries with prices as well with that one. I think the collection, that video they did, they might have picked something out of there. So just a guess from my point there. Ryan says, I didn't like the old Epi headstock. The new looks okay, but not great. They're all better than the Heritage though. Yeah, people hate on that Heritage headstock for some reason. I don't know. I don't hate it. Don't love it. I really like the Epiphone headstock as it is, the new one. I do kind of wish though that they've just done the actual Gibson headstock and put Epiphone on it, but they're not going to do that. I do like the one that they have on it at the minute, and I hope they don't change from that too much. But yeah, I know the Japanese versions came out with the Gibson headstock from Epiphone. Those were cool. Maybe someday I'll pick one of those up. But yeah, they definitely made a change for the better, in my opinion, on that one. Chris says, yes, there's Epi Les Paul Silver available here in Canada. Oh, there you go. Apparently Squier is making some Affinity Tellies and Strats in Silverburst. They are indeed. Yeah, I've seen those already. Good for modding. Yeah, absolutely. Margaret says, never met an Epi I didn't like. Well, there you go. There you go. What I do like about Epiphones is that they do make more expensive models, more like versions of more expensive models, affordable to folks who don't want to spend 10 grand on a signature model for whatever artist it may be. But yeah, I like Epiphones. I mean, the guitars themselves I've always liked, and for the most part I've had good luck with them, so never had one that was terrible or unfixable. Scott says, am I the only one who liked the Dovewing and sloped Dovewing headstock? I liked that they were their own thing. The new headstock is okay. Yes, you're the only one, Scott, the only one, because it wasn't nice at all. It put me off buying several Epiphones that I liked down the years. New headstock is fantastic, not okay. So anyway, no, of course, look, everyone's got a different taste and it's subjective. I will like things that you don't like and vice versa, and that's okay. We can still be friends. Grandpa Joe says, hey Glenn, how are you doing? I just want to check in with Glenn, make sure he's still doing okay, because I did say I liked a certain black guitar. So Joe, just good thing checking in on Glenn there. Just make sure he's doing all right still. Let me see. Margaret says, you're lucky. Or sorry, Chris says to Margaret, you're lucky. Unfortunately, I have a lot. I love stuff. So yeah, have met some that you didn't like, but then some you didn't. So that's cool. Let me see what we've got here. Mic level. Let's see. Mic level is. It seems to be saying it's okay, Scott. Let me know if it's not good, but yeah, everything should be all right. Oh, great. More Slash guitars. It's exactly what you need, Anthony. Yeah. I mean, look, they're never going to stop doing signature models, but they are long overdue, by the way, a standard range refresh. I think that's coming in the new year as well. So I think around the NAMM show, you're going to be getting back, you're going to be getting some refreshes to the Epiphone lineup in terms of core models. So standards, customs, all that sort of stuff. You'll get a little bit of a refresh on them, I think. New pickups, Epiphone branded stuff, and then new colors possibly as well. Ernie B is here, says, well Dave, I finally got a blue guitar. Nice. I was able to get my hands on a Rick Beato Gibson, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it. It may be overpriced, but it's a very nice player. Very cool, Ernie. Yeah, that's great. I like it as a guitar. I think it's very, very cool, and yeah, I'm glad you picked one up. That's awesome. Let me see. Glenn says, Dave, Scott's speakers died, please speak up. I can't, I mean, I'm good, guys. I can't help broken speakers. Yeah, sorry about You're all good. Okay, awesome. Ryan says, I just watched the review before his stream, before this stream. Very cool. Well, yeah, what I do think about is movie reviews is that's very subjective. So some people will agree with you, and some people will absolutely tear you apart. Years and years and years ago, we did a joint movie show here on YouTube, like before YouTube was big. Like it was 2010, maybe. Like it wasn't super big. It wasn't what it is now. And yeah, we did a thing called the 5 Minute Movie Show. I don't think it's still online, but yeah, every week we did. It was just, we didn't know what we were doing, but it was fun. But yeah, he's big into his movies and stuff. This is my brother, folks. If you don't know, he has a YouTube channel called Carl's Movie Film Review, or Movie Film Channel, I think it's called. Yeah, just some really good reviews. And so I tend to agree with most of his reviews. We have the same taste in a lot of things, music and movies and stuff like that. So yeah, but check it out. Hopefully you did enjoy it, Ryan, and if you did, let him know. If you didn't, let him know as well. So, James says, Ernie, love the color of the Rick Beato. Very cool indeed. Chris says, whoa, Ernie, that thing is my favorite Gibson. Just killer. Yeah, very, very, very cool. Ryan says, GL just makes me angry. His little troll laugh. Yeah, his laugh is a little interesting. I don't know whether it's faked just for the video or not, but I do a lot of laughing in my own videos, so I can't say too much. Scott says, Epiphone did that TV silvery Pelham blue in the 2000s. Might not be the same, but looks close. Yeah, very true. Very true. James says, I'm still pissed at Gibson about the 50k greenie, those bastards. Well, I did a video on how better to spend 50 grand. So maybe they've seen that. I don't know. I hope they have. It'd be really funny. Benny says, I think the Earth sale may end tonight. It's because it's the China National Day holiday and they're back to work tomorrow. Okay, well, cool. We'll have to check it out tonight then. Let's see. I think that he stole his troglodyte name too. There's a guy who did reviews before him with suspiciously similar artwork and troglodyte name. Interesting, Ryan. Yeah, that's. I know I had heard that before. I think that's just a regular word. Like it's a word you can look up, though, right? But anyways, a word you can look up. What am I even saying? It's just a word. Yeah. Anyway, we've got some investigating to do on that one. My niece Hurt says, does Ireland even have just one Guitar Center? No. Not that I'm aware. No, Guitar Center isn't here. We have, I don't think we have any chain guitar stores. We just have like independents. I think. I don't know of anyone's anyway. But yeah, Glenn says, Marta is MIA. I hope she's doing well. Yeah, she wasn't here last week either. So Marta, if you're watching, let us know. And hopefully you're doing okay. We do wish you well. Scott says, how much will the Dave Mustaine Kramer V be? 1,000. I think maybe 12. Going by what we're seeing. Hopefully under 1,000. Hopefully. Ryan says Guitar Center is American. Indeed, I believe they are. My niece Hurt says, decide that I can be okay with buying an Epi Flying V. Yeah, look, Flying Vs are cool. So, I like them. So you should definitely check it out. Epiphone makes a pretty nice couple of Flying Vs as well. Margaret says, Scott, I have an Epi TV Pelham custom LP. Found it mint at a pawn shop. That sounds great. That really does sound great. And my niece Hurt says, so is McDonald's. Very true. Very true. No, Guitar Center though in this case hasn't made the at least the longest journey over to Ireland. Not yet. Who knows? I don't know if they're ever going to come over here, but yeah, I don't know how well they do, to be honest. But it's nice to have like just loads of independent shops. You go around, you get a different experience in every one. Some of them are shit, and some of them are good. Mostly shit. But there you go. Ryan says, yeah, Marsha hasn't been around anywhere. I usually see her arguing with bots in comment sections, but not lately. Hopefully she's doing okay. Yeah, that's unusual. All right. Hopefully, Marsha, I hope you're doing all right wherever you may be. Let us know some way or another if you can. Yeah. Best wishes to Marsha wherever she is. Margaret says, very heavy, but sounds great for the special. Very cool. T-Ball says, I have a guitar center 3 miles from my house and it sucks. Fortunately, I have several small shops that rock. Muddy H2O, who was also not here so far this evening, so I can tell. He was telling me his experience in a guitar center a little while ago, saying that it was basically they didn't know anything about the guitars they had, and they were handling them pretty terribly, I should say. So yeah, I don't have a great opinion of them, to be honest. But hey, if you guys know of guitar centers that are good, let me know. I presume each one is just, it depends on the staff and whether they are good or not. So that's just how it's going to be. When Eastert says, I was out of town all week for work, drove back last night, then drank 5 IPAs. So please take all my words today with a grain of salt. Just always take my words with a grain of salt, when Eastert. But yeah, I do appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. So let me see. Brian says Canada doesn't even have one, guitar center. So there you go. I didn't know that. Matt says, I can't believe no one has mentioned the new Steel Panther track yet. Needless to say, it continues along their well-trodden path. Yeah, I was wondering how long it would take, Matt, but indeed, I think it's a banger. I think it's going to be one of the classics for the ages, indeed. Anthony says, Agnesi is nothing but a giant F that guy. Just gonna, I have nothing against Agnesi per se. I'd love to chat with him. I'd love to sit down and have an interview. Mark, if you're out there, come on the channel. Let's talk. Let's do some why the Gibson do this, why the Gibson do that sort of stuff. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe someday I'll have a big enough YouTube channel where they'll do that. I doubt it. Maybe I'll just bump into him in the Gibson garage sometime. Who knows? Glenn Bailey says, hit that like button, peoples. Indeed. Well, we've got more likes than viewers at the minute, so I think we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Plus, I don't really want to buy that guitar, so I don't want 250 more likes. And then he says, PRS needs to make a Tele style guitar. We think it's in the works. Anthony, Miles Kennedy was seen playing one on his tour earlier this year. It was a PRS Tele style. It looks cool, but Tremonti has a what do you call it? And he has a model that's very much like a Gibson model, and he said it's just for him. They're not going to be putting it into production because it would require new machines and stuff like that. So I don't know, but they've definitely made one. They've tested it. They've prototyped it. Hopefully they will put it out, because I think they know the response to it was, yeah, everyone wants one. Red-Eyed Patriot says, respect from Kentucky, USA. Well, thank you so much to Kentucky, USA. Big fan of your chicken. Just kidding. Had to say it. But Red-Eyed Patriot, welcome and glad to see you. Ryan says, that's a nice score, Margaret. I've never seen a Pelham LP custom. Indeed, they exist. They're cool, but they're rare. So yeah, very nice find. SB says, I bet Mark had to play authentic to erase those make Gibson great again shirts. Maybe he drove up to Mexico by midnight and buried the evidence. Possibly. Money Search says, I feel if I had the Nautis Capus skateboard in 1987, that I could have done backflips more better, or that Tommy Guerrero board. You never know. You never know. Margaret says, my Kebmo Martin D28 is special and it's signed. Kebmo is a very underrated player. Yeah, been listening to him since the 90s and very, very cool guitarist. Very cool that you have a D28 that's signed by him as well. Excellent stuff. Let's see. Robert says, am I the only Bonamassa fan on here? Looks like I'm going to have to watch my back. I don't dislike his music, Robert, for sure. I think he's talented. I think the problem is people dislike him because of the amount of shit he puts out about vintage guitars. And it's well known that he drives the price of vintage guitars up so that he and his buddies can make a lot of money. So he does get a bit of backlash for that. Musically, I like him. I do watch his concerts, steady streams and stuff. I do listen to him the odd time. So yeah. I would call him, he's someone I don't dislike. I do like him. I do like him. I like a lot of his guitars as well. I just think this one's a ridiculous price. Anyway, Ryan says, SB, yeah, pretty much play authentic equals follow these rules. Indeed it does. Let me see. Asian Medic said, I wish PRS would remake their Paul Allender signature again without the EMG pickups. Those were awesome guitars, and the bat inlays on purple, red, or green bursts. Definitely they should do something cool like that just without EMG pickups. Just without EMG pickups makes a guitar better, I think. But again, that's for you guys. Grandpa Joe says, Glenn, you're right. Marsha has been out for a bit. Maybe we can look for her tonight on TK. Oh no. Yeah, hopefully she's doing well somewhere. Just been maybe taking a break from YouTubes and stuff, which is understandable. SB says, sometimes I get angry at Agnesi, but then I remember is still balding after a decade, and then I feel fine. Hey man, it's the future. Anyway. Who's Kevmo though? He's a very good blues guitarist and singer. Should check him out for sure. TK is past my bedtime. I catch the replay. This show was past my bedtime. So yeah, catch the replay is my recommendation. Right after this show, like within 10 minutes, I will be in bed, just in case any of you wanted to know what my post-show experience was like. Turn everything off, go to bed. Pretty much. Most days I'm in bed by 10 p.m. because, and this show starts at 10 p.m. because I do get up for work at 6:30, and I like sleep. So there you go. Now you know more about me than you probably ever wanted to. Margaret says, Ryan, you got to check him out. Yeah, check out Kevmo. You will love him. He is very, very good. Indeed. Red Eye Patriot says, I can only afford Epiphones, a couple acoustics, and a 2019 Quilt Top Pro. Quilt Top Pros are nice guitars. I've got my grandma's 1945 J45. My grandpa bought her when he got home from the war. Sounds wonderful. I'm sure that is wonderful. That sounds very, very cool. Yeah, good stuff there. And that quilt top, I love a quilt top. Very, very cool stuff there. So thanks for letting us know. My niece Hurt says, I played a $400 Epiphone Sg yesterday and it played amazing. It's my experience. Ryan, the guitar came with his signature on the inside. There you go. Very cool. Robert says, case candy on the more expensive Epis is great if you like collecting stickers. Yeah, like as long as it's not this sticker that they've been giving out for like, I don't know, 100 years. Yeah, it's come on every Epiphone for the last forever. So yeah, always getting those. They should just change it up. Have different Epiphone stickers in their boxes. Glenn says, unfortunately, most of my personalities are out of town this weekend, so the 335 is safe. Well, we're on 44 likes, guys, so that's pretty good. That's pretty high. Can we make it to 50? If you haven't hit that like button yet, let's do it. I think if we hit 50, that'll be a record number of likes on the live stream. So would be interesting to get that. So let's hit that like button, see what we do. There might have been giveaways or something where we hit more than that, but it'd be pretty cool. Let me see. Ryan says, I've been getting into pedals lately. I never thought I would. Yeah, I'm kind of scared to get into pedals because I know it'll end up costing me more than the guitars I have. So I'm kind of putting that one off with the excuse of I don't have a good amp yet, and when I do have a good amp, I will do it then. But there you go. T-Ball says, Gibson isn't watching. There's not enough doctors or lawyers on here. I don't know. I've had feedback that's been, I've been advised of feedback that they weren't happy with me at times. So I think they have watched my channel, my videos at times. From what I hear, I caused quite a ruffle, especially when I did the Slash videos, and I leaked a lot of information that they didn't want out there before the release of the guitar. So yeah, they do occasionally watch here to see what I'm finding out and who I'm finding it out from. Anyways, that's why I've got no good information in the last year. Anyway, doctors and lawyers buy PRS private stock. They do. And I would if I was a doctor or a lawyer as well. Red Eye Patriot says, only thing changed on the J45 was the tuners, and those backlight pegs just broke to pieces over the years. Yeah, they do tend to do that. Over the years, they just break down, unfortunately. But still, sounds like a great guitar. T-Ball says, back in the 80s, case candy had an entirely different meaning. There you go. And Marsha's here. There you go. Look, see, we were talking about her, and she just came in. What's the saying? A speak of the devil. Says, oh shit, I forgot it's Saturday. I've had an insane week and have a strange 8 here too. I'm glad. I just realized. Hope you're all well. Glad to see you, Martin. I hope everything's going well with you. Thanks for dropping in. And yeah, good to see you. Mark says, Red Eyed, that guitar must have tons of songs on it. Yeah, for sure. Scott says, I dropped a guitar down a set of uncarpeted stairs head first. Having a $300 Gator case saved my guitar. I was amazed. Totally unscathed. Some people give Gator cases crap. I love them. I think they're really, really good. So yeah, good to hear that it saved your guitar. That's definitely worth the investment. Manisar says, I worked out of town all week, drove back 3 hours at 8 p.m, drank 5 double IPAs, went to sleep at 7 a.m, woke up 3 p.m. Please suggest me a meal for today. Something with pasta in it, probably. I don't know. Yeah, sounds like a pasta kind of day. Right, yeah, for sure. I bought a medium-sized pedal board with the SM first few. With the first few I got last month, already filled it up. There you go. Yeah. I know that's going to happen with me eventually when I do get into pedals more. Ernie B says the Epiphone headstock change is a huge game changer for me. I love the new one and would buy one now. There you go. It's yeah, game changer for me too. Red Eyed Patriot said, had I known Epiphone would change to headstock in 2020, I would have waited and not bought a 2019. Yeah, I see where you're coming from there. Absolutely. And it's exactly what I did. Like I was waiting. But then, to be honest with you, when I saw the SG Special P90s in the faded pearl and blue, I was like, I'm buying it. I don't care. I love that guitar. It was a really cool one. So yeah, good to know. But yeah, I agree. I think that means you're saying you like the headstock. I love it. So yeah, glad to hear that's the consensus around the group. Only Scott so far saying he doesn't like it. So there you go. Marge saying, my knees hurt. I'm eating bored buttered potatoes because I'm lazy. There you go. That might work. Ernie says, I modified my old one, just can't stand it like the Epi headstock is. There you go. Nella Yema says, my Epiphone Modern, Firebird, Coronet, Sheraton Explorer, and Jason Hook Explorer guitars are well-built guitars. That is a cool collection right there. Yeah, sounds like you got some great stuff. Very, very cool. And Ryan says, how's it going, Martian? Martian says, glad to see you all. I would have been peeved if I missed live again. Had no power last week. Replays make me feel like I'm talking to myself. Yeah, I mean, tell me about it. Especially when I watch it back, which I do. I'm like, who is this guy and why is he so attractive? Anyway, see, I'm doing the whole Geek Lord laughing at myself thing. There you go. Marcia says, it's just all good here. Just had a hectic week and a strange 8 that's covering today got me all mixed up about today. Well, hey, there you go. Glad you're doing well, Marcia, though. That's good. You know, we can all have hectic weeks. That happens. Anne says, hey, everyone. Good to see you, Anne. Thanks for dropping in. And Glenn says, I might have to head to the doctor. Either I tripped on the glory hole and bumped my head, or Dave said he like a black guitar. Yeah, had to be the I did, Glenn. It's all about perspectives. There you go. There's a whole explanation about Trogley's name on his website. Interesting, yeah. There you go. That's how many of us have spent time on his website. Just Marcia. So, all good. Scott says, out of all my Epiphones, the only complaint I had is the bridge on the EJ160E is uncompensated and unintonatable. That's not, I mean, if that's the complaint, that can be a pain, all right. But yeah, if that's the only complaint you have with your Epiphones, it's not too bad. D-Ball says, who the hell is Geek Lord? I keep hearing about. I can't find him on YouTube. Yeah, and I think Chris has mentioned it there. Anthony, follow the code, and he has spelled out the name of the person. I'm not going to say it because when I do, people give out to me, super fans or whatever. I suppose everyone has them. Mar said, by the way, I love that we all notice when one of our regulars is MIA. We should have a buddy system. Indeed. Margaret says, Scott, it's a cool one, the Epi EJ160E. Mine is very dependable. Yeah, it's a nice one. Nice one indeed. Mark says, by the way, I did leave a comment on last week's stream and on the last video where Dave went live about the new Bonamassa Epi. There you go. Yeah, the live stream. Again, I'll just ask you again if you guys thought it was a good idea, if you liked watching the live video, if you think I should do more of those throughout the week, because that'll actually, live videos will mean I'll be able to do more of them because I won't have to spend 2 or 3 hours putting a video together. I just pretty much have to sit down and start talking. So I might start doing some more of those throughout the weeks and also do some recorded content as usual. So keep an eye out for notifications. If you're subscribed and haven't hit the notification bell, please do so. It means you'll get a little notification to tell you when I go live, and you'll be the first to see the videos then in that case. Also, benefit of watching the videos live, there will be no ads on them. So you'll just, well, maybe when you click to watch it first, but there'll be no mid-roll ads, so the video will go straight through. But if you're watching afterwards, the replay of them, there will be ads. So yeah, if you don't want ads, watch them live. So hit that notification button and all notifications, and then just watch the videos when I go live to do them. Probably do it for the next 3-4 weeks, see how it goes. And so far, went pretty well. The Bonamassa video, probably because everyone was talking about the Bonamassa video for the last few days, has done quite well. So yeah, I liked it. I liked doing it. It was good. And it was good to just have a midweek chat with some of you guys as well, just even for a few minutes. Anyway, Glenn says, the guitar centers I visited seem to have a high turnover of employees. Yeah, it's never a good sign in retail. People are leaving all the time. Scott says, yeah, Margaret, I don't know why Epiphone has an uncompensated bridge for the Gibson J160E has a compensated one. There you go. Yeah, I guess they saved some money doing it that way. Ryan says, if you look up Troglodyte on YouTube, there's a guy who did guitar reviews and interviews 6+ years ago. He had the same artwork and logo as Geek Lord. Maybe he had a partner or something who did the videos. I don't know, but yeah, very interesting. All right, because yeah. Anyway, let's say make no comments. DMAC is here. Good to see you. Says Canada has Long and McQuaid stores as a big nationwide music chain. Indeed. Long and McDonald's, the monopoly, says Chris from Coburg. And Ryan says, yeah, but that is not as good as Guitar Center, which I hear isn't good either. There you go. Mert says, Ryan, so that guy stopped posting. I wonder if he knows about the plagiarism. It's interesting. I didn't know that. So there you go. We should all look it up and see. Maybe give him a boost of some views. Ryan says, yeah, I don't see any content from him in the past few years. Geek Lord appropriation. There's an Illuminati EVH skateboard. The 229 price is too high for me, but it's cool. Interesting skateboard chat going on, guys. 2005 Gibson SG, no case, brown stain at my local, $750. That's kind of I think they're trying to cash in on the crazy market for the last couple of years in that case. Mark says, that's too bad. I'm very much against plagiarized stuff. I worked in a college, but the same concept applies to everything in life. Don't copy, do your own thing. Yeah, very much. Very much. I mean, you can do stuff inspired by somebody. That's fair. You can even use, somebody's, use somebody as inspiration or whatever. Or, there's books I've been reading lately, reviewing other people's content or concepts or theories or whatever the case may be. But you can, you just got to put your own spin on it, whatever it is. I think that's the most important thing. But hey, that's a whole other discussion to be had there. Could nearly write a PhD dissertation about that subject in its own right myself. My Niesert says, sleep. My bedtime is whenever, most days. Yeah, I wish I was able to do that most days. Most days I feel like sleeping a lot earlier than I actually get to it. And says, I get up around whenever. I used to get up on time. Yeah, that is the best line of a song. Can't Find America says, hey Dave, rocking in Ohio. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for dropping in and letting us know you're rocking in Ohio. Never been to Ohio. I should go. RocknRoll Hall of Fame is somewhere I want to go at some point. Even though I think it's crock of shit, but still I want to go. So for sure. SB says, my method for sleep is to watch YouTube until I drop my phone. That's already broken. that works. If that works for you, you know, you got to get the old YouTube views in. Make sure, you know, I've got 300 videos you can watch now, so give them all a couple of views. That'd be cool. Glenn says I have to be at work at 3 a.m. so my bedtime is whenever I can. You just had to beat me, Glenn, didn't you? You just had to say I start work earlier than you, Dave. Well, that's fine. Okay, I'll ask my boss, can I start work at 3 a.m. See what happens. Um, I will not do that. I will not. I'm happy starting work when I do, which is fine. Um, the best part of my job starting at the early hour I do is that I get to finish early in the day, which gives me more time to just worry about everything else. Welcome to my life, guys. Ryan says, my knees hurt the same. I sleep a half hour here and there. Self-employed. I don't have a schedule, so I don't mind it. Yeah, when I used to be self-employed, and probably will be again in the near future, in the next 12 months, I think. But in the when I was self-employed before, my hours would be I would stay up super late and then wake up super late. Because I could, because I had no boss. It was great. Um, yeah, although it was more stressed than even now, and I'm quite stressed now. T-Ball says I like Bonamassa a lot more than that soy boy John Mayer. Both are great guitar players, though. I should probably confess that I never really listened to John Mayer. I know some of his songs, but I'm not. Yeah, I've never listened to him enough to be a fan. I know people freak out about him, so I don't know. I don't know why that is. Um, anyway. Mark says, didn't we hit over 50 likes a long time ago once? I seem to recall us all getting super excited about it. Maybe we did, yeah. I've forgotten about it. I will admit. But hey, we're on 47 now, so we could do with 3 more likes, guys. If you guys have not hit that like button, let's do it, because we got like maybe 20 minutes left, I think. We're looking at the chat that's there. So yeah, dive onto that like button, hit it, do the thing, because that super helps. And it's just a good thing. Let's psychologically hit 50. It's a good barrier psychologically to hit. To actually hit it psychologically, it's a good barrier. Anyway, Margaret says you guys would be so bummed if you bought an Epi and it didn't have that black stick. You know what? I've got about 5 of them. I think I'll be all right. Actually, the Power Player, is that the one, the kids one, that they released, that has some additional Epiphone stickers, so maybe they are putting some new ones in the boxes nowadays. Hopefully it wasn't just for that guitar, because they were kind of cool tattoo looking ones. They were kind of nice. I like them. 50 likes, nice, guys. Thank you so much to all of you who have hit that like button. That's cool. I'm going to call it a new record. It might not be, but it's very cool to hit 50. Thank you so much. And Ryan says, SB, that's my method. That's why I had to quit smoking. I've melted and burned so many cigarettes falling asleep. Yeah, that's probably for the better then. So yeah, good stuff. And T-Ball says, I'm on medical retirement, so bedtime is whenever. That is probably what I would do if I wasn't, Monday to Friday required to be waking up for work at 6:30. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are having a good laugh at John Mayer there, which I enjoy that. T-Ball, me too, says Ryan. Had to give up my HVAC career, run some online business now, and that I wish I'd done all along. There you go. Online is the way to go, I think. Yeah, if you're getting into it. And Marge says, T-Ball, I might borrow that phrase. Medical retirement sounds much better than I'm disabled and ill. It does. It's a cool phrase. I like it. We should spread that around to everybody. My T-shirt says, I work, but not that often, T-Ball. And when I do, it's late at night for some. So no real bedtime or wake up time. Interesting, guys. Yeah, we're all at different times. And actually, I wanted to say, I'm thinking that probably the live stream time, I think it might need to be changed, because I know we've got folks like Robert who pop in from Australia, but it's very early on a Sunday morning then there. And also like folks in LA and like that side of the US, very early in the day for them today as well. So it might not be the best time to get here if you're on the West Coast. Those of us in Europe, I think it's a pretty good time. So I don't know. I'm thinking we might have to look at the time so more people can attend the live streams, because I know they tend to do a lot better after the stream has ended. So yeah, gonna play with some, might play with some times, gonna think about times. So, or maybe even just add a second live stream, a proper live stream of the week, each week. And I'd like to know your like what times you think that would work at. I might not do it on a Saturday though. Maybe on a Friday night, do one a little bit earlier, or a little bit later. Maybe it's possible as well. We can see how that goes, but we'll see. We'll see. It's something I'm playing with. I want to adjust a few things on the channel. I seem to always be wanting to adjust things on the channel. But we have a few tests coming up, so just keep an eye out for stuff like that happening. And if you can come to both, come to both. It'll be great fun. Ryan says, I used to have a habit of falling asleep in my car if I was waiting in a parking lot somewhere. The police definitely do take that shit seriously. There you go. Yeah, I guess they do. Yeah. Never fell asleep. Actually, I have fallen asleep in my car a few times, actually. Let's not pretend it hasn't happened after nights out and stuff. But there you go. Scott says, I didn't say that I didn't like it. I said I appreciated the uniqueness. Clipped dovewing. The new one is okay. See what I mean? I said I prefer black guitars, or prefer other colors to black guitars, and everyone said I didn't like them. I've never said I didn't like them. But that's interesting, Scott. Interesting. New one is really nice, I think you meant, but it's all good. Steve Ravel's here. Good to see you, Steve. Says I've been gone a while. Totally missed watching the show. Well, look, we're glad to have you back. So thanks for dropping in. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see what we've got here. Asian Redneck says, it sounds like it just had bad luck when it comes to new Epiphones. I think so. I at the same time, I think I've had some good luck. So, because I have heard and seen some bad ones, but it definitely, there's good ones. There's good ones and bad ones. Let's say that. But a lot of good ones at the minute. Let me see. Mar says, thanks T-Ball. I'll credit you in a footnote every time I say it. If they ask who this T-Ball dude is, I'll tell them come and find out by coming to TCD Live. Yeah, absolutely. Promote the show. That's how to do it. And yeah, I agree that that's a great way of sharing credit and everything. It's cool. Scott says, well, I can complain about Epiphone hardware plating. It wears off too easy. But there you go. Haven't experienced that, but there you go. If that's your experience, then that's true. Glenn says, I missed the live show, but I did the replay and I like the idea of going live. Cool. Thanks for that, Glenn. Appreciate the feedback. Marcia says, live is always fun, but be aware that some people may still be at work in the US. You went live much earlier, so a bunch of people that usually come didn't make it due to the time difference. That's true, but also a lot of people who don't normally make the live were at it. It was about 6 p.m. Irish time, so about 4 hours earlier than normal. So a lot of people who weren't able to make the live or who've never come to a live before were able to get to it. We had roughly the same number of concurrent viewers than we normally have on a live stream, about 30 to 40, somewhere in between there. And the good thing is that it just goes as a video on the channel, so it's still there to watch as a replay. So yeah, that's why I think I might keep them as a more regular thing. I'm going to try test 3 or 4 more of them, see how they do. If they all do well, they'll become a regular part of the channel. But yeah, it'll mean people elsewhere other than the US will be able to come to the, I mean, I know there's folks here from all over the place, but yeah, it'll open it up a little bit. Plus it'll usually mean I can get a video out quicker. And you know, like Todd was mentioning last week, you'd like more content. It'll open up ways to have more content because I won't have to spend as much time, and I don't always have a lot of time. So we'll hopefully get more there. But I do appreciate that feedback, Marcia. I appreciate it a lot. Nella says you could try an aftermarket compensated saddle. This for Scott for his his Epiphones. Or have a luthier make one for you. The John Lennon model is pretty sweet looking. It looks like a J45. The John Lennon model is pretty sweet looking. That's true. Anthony, careful bumping those glory holes. You could lose an eye. Very true. But again, Steel Panther reference to anyone who's new. Marcia says we can't take it all. We can't take it to all of them all the time. We can't make it to all of them all the time. I'm just pointing it out that so you consider the timing if you wish. It seems most of the regulars are in North America. Most of the regulars on the current live stream. But that's the thing. There's folks on the channel from all over the world. Like the viewers there's viewers in Argentina, Mexico. I know those are probably similar time zones. We get viewers in India. Where else? Philippines, Australia, all over Europe. Where else? Just all over the place. Countries that I'd never heard of. In fact, a couple of them. So yeah, there's lots of places. But no, it's a good point. You know, a lot of regulars, but there are other people who regularly watch the channel who just can't make it to the live streams on a Saturday night. And the other side is sometimes people just have things on a Saturday night. And also, Marty, what's his name? Marty Music. He does a live stream on Saturday nights as well now. So, or Saturday afternoon, I guess, for him. So, you know, there's competition out there. So, but anyway, look, if a video like that midweek is live, it's just me doing a video live. It's a 10-15 minute thing. It's not going to be a full live. So don't worry. Don't feel like you have to come to it or anything like that. It will be me pretty much just doing a video, but without recording it and editing it and having to upload it and write stuff out for it and all that sort of stuff. It'll just be a live stream version of the video, me talking live. And if you're there, you can leave a comment and I might try and answer it. I don't even know if I'm going to keep answering comments on those live streams, but we'll see. As I said, testing it out next 3-4 weeks, see how it goes. I liked it. It was I felt like it went really well. So anyway, keep an eye on them. If you like them, let me know. If you don't like them, let me know too. It'll help out. My Knees Hurt says, maybe the 6-year-old troglodyte is the current trogly. I didn't follow that guy. I'm very selective. I don't follow it. Very selective. Well, it's good to know you're selective, and thanks for following us here. But yeah, who knows? It could be maybe his voice changed. Maybe he went through puberty. I mean, he has about 30 kids, so he's probably gone through it a long time ago. Glenn says, I was off when the show went live. I was just running errands. Otherwise, I would have tuned in. All good, Glenn. You know, it's optional. The other one is optional, not this one. This one is mandatory. Victor says, I didn't know you could trip on a glory. I just take mushrooms like all the normal kids do. You know, it's whatever floats your boat. Scott says, there's a few ways to fix it. I had my guy carve a bridge as much as he could. It's okay. There you go. That's one way of doing it. Ryan says, I think he was older. I remember him because he went to the new PRS factory when it opened. Oh, interesting. So he was doing... interesting. I mean, like, I have a name on YouTube. There's many people on social media called Chord Dave. So I wonder, is there other Chord Daves out there making videos? Possibly. Who knows? Let's see if we can find one. Mar says to My Knees Hurt, I was thinking that too, but I bet Ryan could see the other guy in the video. Interesting thoughts, yeah. Chris says, if Long McDonald asks you if you want a free setup, run out the door with your new guitar screaming, no thanks. And Scott says, Long McQuaid in St. John's is awesome, except for the building. Depends on the store, management, employees. Indeed, I think that's the same with everywhere. L&M have some good stores, but most are just full of 3-year-old stock that being passed off as new. And D-Max says, I've noticed big store-by-store differences with Long & McQuaid. Interestingly, my only dealing with Long & McQuaid was because I had to arrange for Scott's guitar when he won the SG, and we decided the best way was to purchase it from there. So I rang up his local store and I was arranging the purchase. They made me like call back 6 times, 7 times, something like that, because the right person wasn't there or something to make an order. So anyway, that was a process, but eventually we got through it, and it was fine. But it was like, I don't know, 3 weeks later when my phone bill came in, I was like, what is this charge? It's like, oh yeah, I don't have international calling on my phone. So anyway, that was a weird one, but it did work out, and so they got it done for me, which was cool. Chris says, true, but most here in Ontario are terrible for some reason. Got a classic vibe Strat from St. John's store, and it was perfect. So you guys have it good. Yeah, well, it's good. Like with any of those big chain stores, some of them will be good, some of them will not be so good. Depends on the staff and everything, like we're saying. Ryan Byrne with the super chat, thank you, sir, appreciate that so much. Says, don't worry, Dave, if anyone asks, you were the first 3 CD. I appreciate that. Yeah, just let's, between us, I was the first one. Yeah, like I tried to register a Twitter, I think, for Chord Dave, and it's already taken, so Who cares? It's fine. I do have a Twitter, which I set up, but I've never updated or anything. And it's Dave of Three Chords. So you can all follow at Dave at Dave of Three Chords if you want. But I haven't tweeted. I haven't even uploaded a profile picture, and that's my only. I have two Twitter accounts. I have my regular one and my Dave of Three Chords. I don't use that either. I'm not a big social media fan. You've probably realized. But Ryan says Burlington, Ontario was a great location, but some of the staff are just clueless. That happens in a lot of places. Shy says 50 likes. Good to see you, Shy. Thanks for dropping in. And yeah, very cool. Mike B says hello from Australia land. Very cool. I think I said it on the show last week. Getting kind of nostalgic for going to Australia. I just want to go back there. It's been a while. It's been three years. Yeah. So I'd like to go back and check out Melbourne again. Because I actually spent a couple of days there and we hit the road then. Nella says John Mayer can't be too bad. He did a skit on Dave Chappelle's show years ago. It was pretty funny. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen that. But yeah, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. And Shai says, hey, good to see you, Shai. As I'm sure you're aware already, there's some crazy people here, but they're nice. They're nice. So, hang around with them. Some of them are pretty interesting folks. Chris says to Ryan, that is very common. I find high turnover. The store in Coburg has seen multiple employees passing through since opening in 2015. Yeah. Ryan says, L&M red flagged me for returning an FB Wino because I had changed my phone number and it showed I'd returned 100% of my purchases. They wanted a non-refundable fee to buy anything. Wow, that's shitty. Anyway, there you go. My knees hurt says, going to store for food, beers, and great chatting, folks. Take care. Take care, my knees hurt. Good to have you drop in and chat with us as always. So yeah, look after yourself. Chris says, Ryan, I played that guitar. It looks good, but not for me. I am surprised they tried to blame you. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, all right. Mike B says, 8:30 a.m. in Australia, eating cornflakes and cracking open my first beer. That's the way to do it, man, on a Sunday morning. Why not? Scott says, or maybe I have sweat like a xenomorph alien. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Keeping guitar techs in work anyway, so that's good. T-Ball says, the hell with the West Coast, except for the West Coasters that are here, you are all okay. All right, well, that's good to know. T-Ball says, my favorite guitar color are black, white, silver, and anything that sparkles. I'm not really that original. Well, there you go. Everyone has their cool favorites and stuff like that. Yeah, mine's my absolute favorite is Pelham Blue. Quite like a gold top as well, and at the moment I'm kind of liking some green stuff, so we'll see what ends up being added to the collection. Batfink 2 is here. Good to see you. Batfink says, I still don't know what a glory hole is that for golfers? I don't know either, but ask Steel Panther, they'll tell you. Ryan says, anybody ever watch Searching for Sugar Man? Awesome documentary about 6-0 Rodriguez, who didn't know his album was multi-platinum in South Africa for decades. Indeed, yeah, it's a great documentary. Everyone should check it out. Searching for Sugar Man, really, really cool. It's years since I've seen it. Actually, I might actually give that another watch over the weekend. Ryan says, my favorite color is gray, and James Severin says, you rock, Chord Dave. Well, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate that so much. Margaret with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Margaret. That is super cool of you. I appreciate it so much. Says, thanks, Dave, for being you. Thanks, Margaret. That's cool. I really appreciate that. And thanks very much for all the super chats, guys. That means a lot. Yeah, super, super cool. Let me see what we got here. Where am I? Where's the rest of my chat's gone? Marcia says, I'm here, but I still can't type for a few. Hands are full. No worries, Marcia. But yeah, good to have you here again. James says, best show on YouTube. Ah, man, thanks so much. That means a lot. It really does that you would say something like that. So thank you. Batfink 2 says, seems I'm not the only old sick booger on here. We've all got our ailments. For sure. But yeah, we could have a whole separate live stream just going through what's wrong with us and what we're dealing with. But there you go. Badfing says, here in Canada, we're the world leader in being organized. Not. There you go. I like you guys. When I was in Canada, I thought you guys were all pretty cool. But That's because it was snowing all the time. Scott says, my real name has multiple famous people with the same name. I never use my name online. Everybody thinks I'm a writer or an F1 driver. Yeah, there's another person as well, but I'm not going to mention it because that would give away your name. TCD, often imitated but never duplicated. R. Dave. Indeed, Glenn, indeed. Often duplicated. Multiple times my identity has been stolen. Ryan. Ryan says, Scott Schumacher. There you go. That's his. He's been outed. Scott Schumacher is in the chat. Very cool. Badfink says, yeah, Ryan, Burlington is a good location. Brampton sucks. Rathburn is pretty good. There you go. Again, local areas, I don't know. Rathburn was my local store till that argument about the wino with the manager. Haven't been back. Yeah, something like that would put me off going to a store like that. Like, yeah, stuff like that's just not cool. And Badfink says, Ryan, did you argue with Pat or Hero? Okay, cool. Politics. It was Pat. There you go. Pat can be a right misery at times. There you go. So just see how we're all connected somehow, one way or another. Well, guys, look, I've got to the bottom of the chat, which is cool. Doesn't happen very often within the 2 hours, but that's super cool. Guys, it's been a great live stream tonight. Lots of cool stuff has come up. We've talked about everyone's favorite overpriced guitar. If you haven't seen it, this is the video. It's still on YouTube. Did it live just for the first time, just for the crack, see how it goes. You can check out my initial thoughts on the Joe Bonamassa ES335. You won't be surprised to think I think it's overpriced, but there you go. But I very much enjoyed it doing that video. So let me know. I'll do another live video at some point this week. Let me know if you dig it. We'll see how it goes. Wayne McConnell has said, hello. Good to see you, Wayne. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Thank you for dropping in. And let me see where Ben Allmark is here as well. Says, let's go Blue Jays, which is a Canadian sports team. Play baseball, I think. Yeah, let's go with the Blue Jays. Why not? Or the Blue Sox or the Red Hammers. I don't know. I don't know much about American sport. I know basketball. I don't know the others. T-Ball says, Dave, will the name of the podcast change as you learn more chords? No, because I already know 3.5 chords. So we're good. Glenn says, thank you, Dave, for another good show. Thank you, Glenn, for participating and being part of it. And I'm sorry for the shock about the black guitars thing, but you know, it's all good. And yeah, Scott with the link there for the Bonamassa video. Appreciate that, Scott. Thank you so much, guys. It has been a pleasure, as it always is. 54 likes on the stream is very cool. Appreciate it. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks to all the new folks for sticking around and joining us and having a good time. I will see you back with another guitar related video very soon, guys. But until then, take care. I'll see you next week.